This is a Philippine Airlines Douglas DC-8 jet on its delivery flight from the factory in Long Beach, California to Manila in the year 1960, and this was the first jet airliner to ever fly to the Philippines. Today, the airline continues to fly these kinds of jets, plus wide-body jets like the 747. But what's interesting is that this isn't even the beginning of their story. Let's go back further to see how they started. Philippine Airlines has a very rich history, which dates back to March 15, 1941, when it was established as the country's first airline. Just 2 months later, on May 1941, the airline inaugurated its first route between Manila and Baguio, which is located on the northern part of the island of Luzon. The plane that flew that route was a Beech Model 18. In December 1941, the airline had to suspend operations because of the outbreak of World War II. 2 of their planes were destroyed in Japanese AIR raids, and all of their facilities and equipment were damaged or destroyed. After the war, Philippine Airlines resumed its Manila-Baguio service, using a single Beechcraft Model 18 that they had left in an operational hangar outside of Manila. This time, however, they also inaugurated a second route connecting Manila to Cebu. By 1946, they had expanded to 9 domestic destinations and also opened their first international route to Hong Kong. That same year, they acquired 4 DC-3 aircraft, which were converted into luxurious passenger planes featuring club chairs and open bars. These would be used to serve both domestic and international routes. Throughout the following decades, the airline continued to expand its domestic and regional network, opening new routes around the Philippines as well as around Asia. In the early 1960s, they began to introduce jets into their fleet, starting with the DC-8, which was the first jet to fly to the Philippines. They also ordered the BAC-111, which was built in the United Kingdom and became the first jet-powered plane to land at the Manila International Airport. During the next decade, Philippine Airlines would become the biggest airline in the Philippines, flying more than 1 million passengers per year and flying to more than 25 destinations. In 1968, Philippine Airlines became the official flag carrier of the Philippines. Being designated as a nation's flag carrier is a great honor and a huge responsibility, as the airline becomes a sort of symbol of the nation it represents. As such, being named the flag carrier means that you have truly become the biggest and best airline in your country. And this designation makes Philippine Airlines the oldest flag carrier in Asia. Over the years, many other airlines have come and gone, but PAL has managed to remain the flag carrier for more than 50 years now. In 1970, they began serving North America with flights to Los Angeles and San Francisco, and throughout the rest of the 1970s, they expanded their international network to Europe, including major cities like London, Manchester, Paris, Amsterdam, Frankfurt, and Rome. They also entered the Middle East, launching flights to Kuwait, Dubai, Dammam, Jeddah, and Doha. As the airline expanded throughout the 1970s and 1980s, they upgraded their fleet with newer versions of the DC-8 and the BAC-111, as well as adding the McDonnell Douglas MD-82 and the Boeing 707 to their fleet. They also started wet leasing their aircraft to other airlines like Kuwait Airways. Wet leasing is when a company leases an aircraft to another company, but the crew and the maintenance are also provided by the leasing company. So essentially, Philippine Airlines was providing complete aircraft to Kuwait Airways along with pilots and cabin crew. The airline enjoyed some success during the 1980s, managing to stay profitable despite the turbulent times in their country. But unfortunately, things would soon take a downturn. In 1990, Philippine Airlines took delivery of its first wide-body jet, the Airbus A340. This was meant to help them operate more long-haul routes, especially to the United States. They also added the Boeing 747-400 to their fleet, which helped them increase frequencies to their most popular destinations. Unfortunately, there was a lot of competition on these routes from other Gulf carriers like Emirates and Saudi Arabian Airlines. By 1998, the airline was suffering huge losses of approximately $1 million every day. At that point, they decided to temporarily suspend all of their international flights, except for those to Hong Kong, Kuwait, and Saudi Arabia, as well as their domestic flights. This gave them enough time to restructure the company and get their finances in order. One of the key issues was the high cost of fuel, so they grounded about half of their fleet to reduce operating costs. And after a few years of intense work, they were ready to return to the skies. On March 2000, Philippine Airlines launched its first international flight back to the US since 1998, resuming service to Los Angeles with daily flights. Throughout the rest of that year, they continued to resume more international flights, including destinations in Asia, Europe, the Middle East, and North America. As you can imagine, though, it wasn't easy to rebuild an airline that had been grounded for 2 years. It took quite a bit of time before they were finally able to return to profitability. But thanks to the hard work of management and employees, as well as the support of its customers, the airline was able to turn things around and set itself up for success. That brings us to the early 2000s, which we'll cover in an upcoming episode. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. And if you want more aviation history, check out the playlist to the side. Also, big thanks to all of my supporters for helping me make videos like this one. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.